Good morning, YouTube. It's Morgan, aka the Mountaineer, back in Kanawha State Forest to do another trail. I was planning to do the entirety of Wildcat Ridge Trail. Looks like it's about 4 miles out and back. A little pressed for time to get to my son's second t-ball practice. So I'm going to do the Poly Trail Wildcat Ridge loop. I've done this previously. That was actually the first trail that I did besides this little CCC Snipe Trail. That's the one I did back in March maybe, or April. It was about 38 degrees out, so it's going to be a lot hotter than that today. Well, I'm going to get to it. Well guys, I made it up here top of this little ridge with tons of rocks. Previous clip, I think it's the first clip after the I show the trailhead. That was actually the spot where I sat and filmed before, and that was first really, other than that real short coffee video, piping coffee, at the CCC trail. That was the first real long hike that I took. I looked back at my photos to make sure that it was the same spot, and it was, and it just looked completely different. And I'll do a side by side. You can see what I'm talking about before. And also I looked at the date. It was 3 months ago today, so it was April 18th. Today is July 18th. But it's amazing the difference that foliage on the trees can make, how much it can skew your perception of things. Today, I have that same bowl of Cabby's mixture that I had last week. I think I barely got the charring laid in before John came, and then I was just talking to him. So we'll see if I'm not a delayed gratification person, so this may or may not be good. Yeah, it tastes pretty good. I don't think I smoked enough of it before to make a huge difference. But normally, I kind of think people that, I'm not judging you, but people that like the delayed gratification technique are kind of crazy. I've smoked back whenever I had that big commute and was able to smoke a cigar or pipe every day. A few times I'd come out and finish a pipe from the morning, and I didn't care for it. They say with cigars, it's not a good practice to pick up a cigar that's been sitting a while after it's gone out. You can do a little bit of preventative stuff, purge it, blow out through it, and knock every bit of ash off it you can, and if possible, actually cut the burnt portion of the cigar off. I kind of find the same thing to be somewhat true for pipes. Very beautiful day. I can't see too much of the sky, just patches, and I can see little bits of cloud, a lot of blue. Sun's up there. Probably about 10:30. I would estimate about 78 or 79 degrees. But nice day. Just like I mentioned in the intro, I gotta go quick. I have to go to my son's. He had his first t-ball practice yesterday, and his second one is today. Nathaniel, my oldest, had his first coach pitch. Oh, dang, that's hot. See if I can improvise. Oh, I have that paper towel. I knew I used something different last week. Just got to do it before you get it caught on fire. But he had his first coach pitch practice Wednesday, and the second one Thursday. And then Andrew had t-ball yesterday, t-ball today. I don't think there's anything tomorrow. I have a feeling we might end up having practices. Oh, nope, didn't work. Might end up having practices Monday too. But oh, I can feel the heat coming off that tab. I'm making a mess today. But anyhow, so that's been the last few days. Of course, last week jeez, I just shot some out everywhere. But no, last week John came up right when I was getting settled in. We ended up talking for an hour, if you watch that video. So I didn't include much of my normal talk because I didn't really have much of one. Just talking to him. Oh, jeez. Man, I'm struggling today, guys. This whole video might end up being a blooper reel. Normally I'd be careful about how I try to keep stuff in there clean, but I'm just gonna go for it. Just shove everything in there and deal with the mess later on when I get home. But anyway, ended up talking to him for about an hour, and then I actually jogged the majority of the rest of the way back to the car, and then did a little bit of a bushwhack for the last bit because the trail swung out like that and came back to where the parking lot was. And so I just cut that little loop out, and our friend ended up coming over and watching the kids for a few minutes so Shayna could get out. She was still a little late, but yeah, that was fun. So I know it was 2 weeks ago, but I hope everyone had a good Independence Day weekend. Didn't get to tell you about mine last week, obviously, so Boys and I went up to our cabin, our little cabin at Cape and River, and had a good time. My parents were there, my sister and her family. We were going to try to go Friday night, get there in time Friday night for the fireworks at Cape and Bridge, but I guess apparently you couldn't get out of your car, and it would have taken forever to get back on the road, and so we didn't end up going. But I was hoping to. I was going to go on a hike Thursday. I think something happened. Can't remember. Maybe I just couldn't get up or something. Didn't get up in time. I don't know. But then I couldn't go Friday because we ended up going to my in-laws and staying Thursday night until Friday afternoon. And I put off some fireworks there. And then I brought backup in case this was terrible. It's Upman Coronas Jr. Just in case, a little short cigar, really good smoke. And then this is, I think that Victorinox has discontinued these, but I'm more of a punch person than a cutter, and so I carry this little pocket knife around whenever I'm going to do any cigar smoking. So other than like torpedoes or bellicosos with the pointed ends where you can't really punch them, I use that almost universally. But anyhow, so I let off fireworks, kind of made a display. Saturday, and I have this, it's like a milk carton crate full of HDPE tubes that are the mortars for shells, and so I think I put in 9 or 10 shells or something, and taped the fuses, or strung some fuse between them, taped them up, tried to cover them with some aluminum foil to keep them from lighting early, and that worked pretty well. And then I took a sawhorse, and one of them I tried to tape down sparklers across it so that one would sequentially light the other, and then lay bottle rockets across it, and then a little fountain and one of those Saturn missile things with 25 little stickless bottle rockets that goes up at the end. And for some reason, I don't know if I didn't have enough overlapping or what, but it didn't seem like the sparklers wanted to go, and the bottle rockets didn't fly that well. I put it right at the top of the steps to go down to the river. I remember Dad did that one time, but with one of those yard-long sparklers, and some of them would fly out across the river, and a lot of them would go into the river. Not trying to pollute or anything, but it would be like a blue and gold burst under the water, a neat little sound. So I was trying to kind of duplicate that, and I had 1 or 2 that worked. I don't know why this didn't stay lit very well. Seems pretty dry. It wasn't too moist going in. It's been sitting in there for 8 or 9 days. And then I taped a series of fountains across the another sawhorse, and and tried the aluminum foil thing again, and it didn't do so well at at keeping those from getting lit, so it went all out of order, but it was still pretty neat. Only lasted like a minute and a half or something, probably 8 or 9 fountains, smaller fountains. And well, I think I let the sparkler / bottle rocket thing off first, then the fountains, and then the cake, and then I had or the mortar rack, and then I had a cake with 15 shots or something like that I had as the finale. It was fun. Hot work doing it. It was so hot there that weekend. And we just have a couple air conditioners in the cabin, and it's not insulated. And they do a good job of knocking the edge off, but when you get into 95-degree heat, they just don't cut it. But then we stayed Friday through Monday, and Sunday, the boys and my mom and I drove, and then my sister and her family followed. Dad stayed at the cabin, but went up to this ice cream stand near the state line, the line with Virginia along Route 50. And man, they have some good ice cream, but I got a banana split, and it was one of those carry-out containers. It's kind of like maybe for a pair of hot dogs or something, about like that, maybe 3 or 4 by 7 inches, something like that. And then you close it, it's probably about 4.5, 5 inches high. And I think I could have closed that thing on that banana split, but I think the whipped cream would have squished out the sides. That's how much there was. And I ate almost every bit of that thing. I gave my son a couple bites of the, I get weird ice creams whenever I go to places like that. In my banana split, I get random stuff, and because I want to try different types, and I also want to see if they go with stuff. But I also like the chocolate covered gummy bear candy. And that sounds super weird, and it kind of is, but you bite into it, the chocolate disappears quick, and then you finish up with the gummy bear. But anyhow, they had black raspberry ice cream, and so I got that for one of the things, and I think chocolate for the other 2 or something like that. I always get chocolate. If it was just a place that has vanilla and chocolate, I always get chocolate ice cream with a banana split and a blizzard at Dairy Queen. If they have it. Some Dairy Queens don't have chocolate ice cream, which I find kind of astounding. But I let Nathaniel try a couple bites, probably 4 or 5 bites of that black raspberry, and he really liked it. But other than that, I ate that entire thing. And I didn't feel like I was going to die afterwards, which was probably the most surprising part. But then Monday we went into Kaiser, and saw my aunt and granddad had some sort of doctor's appointment. So we got there, talked with him for a little bit, and then I helped Aunt Pat get granddad in the car, and they went, and I got the boys and I sunscreened up, and we got in swimming clothes and went in Aunt Pat's pool. Yeah, my sister's family came, and they were swimming with us, and then the appointment took a little longer than expected, but Aunt Pat and Granddad made it back, and Aunt Pat ended up ordering pizza, so we had pizza. We were still swimming. Mom and Dad came. We ended up convincing Dad to get in. I keep trying to tell him, I know he's going to watch this, Dad, you need to get up to Aunt Pat's more and get in her pool. Get exercise that's low impact on the knees. But we had a good time. But Nathaniel and I, Andrew takes after my wife's granddad. He just tans, he just gets dark. Nathaniel and I are nice fair-skinned, aka lobsters, when we are in the sun too much. And I'm not good about sunscreen. Put it on before, and he was wearing a shirt. We ended up in a life jacket. He ended up taking both of them off. And we were just out there so long, we both, holy crap, look at that fly. We both ended up getting some pretty bad sunburn. He actually blistered. And that made for a couple rough nights with him fussing and crying and not wanting to go to bed because it hurt. I still feel just terrible about that. I mean, I got burnt pretty bad too. But I just, whenever it didn't connect, whenever he took his shirt off, you know, hey, I need to sunscreen him. And then we were just the amount of time, I think we were probably in there double the amount of time we should have been with that first thing of sunscreen. But he's all better now. I'm all better. Have a little bit of color for the time being. I've peeled a good bit, but my watch strap, the little thing that holds the end of the strap, broke. I noticed it when we pulled into the driveway at Capon. I was like, dang it. So I wore it for days with the strap dangling, and it just got really on my nerves, so I haven't been wearing it. And I don't like not wearing a watch. Generally, the only times I take my watch off are when I go to pottery class, and after I've mowed my lawn, I take it off in the shower, and I'll clean it off with dish soap and clean my wrist off real well. I still always end up getting a little patch of poison ivy there, but it helps reduce it. And I looked, Timex's website, at least on a smartphone, is not very good to try to shop. I couldn't find a direct replacement strap for it, so I'm kind of bummed out about that. I hate to just go buy a whole new watch. So if anyone knows of a good way to duplicate that little strap keeper, whether it be some way to rig up a rubber band or something like that, let me know. I'm very interested. Being a little patriotic, since I'm talking about the 4th, I'm wearing my USA shirt and have my We the People lighter here with the American flag and the part of the daggone ants crawling on both legs. First page of the Constitution there. Kind of nice little breeze. I need to hurry up and get a little quicker. I have Andrew's T-ball stuff in my car, so I need to make sure I get there in time. Before I leave this spot, I'll kind of walk around with the camera a bit and show you what's going on. I mean, you can see the view out this way, but I have... Oh, here's someone coming. Just this beautiful view. I'm gonna finish packing up and show you this spot and maybe a couple others. Well, guys, I'm just about back to the parking lot. I can see there's a little playground down here.
Caught another couple switchbacks and that'll be done. Nice little hike, not too hot, not too humid. That was a pretty good sight. Right when I was finishing up those, I had two fellas come up, father and son, I guess. Talked to them for a minute, then headed on down. But it's a good trail. Well, guys, till next time, thanks for tuning in.